party, we like to party, party, party all night long. Party, party, we like to party, 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 never go home. Party, party, we like to party, party, party all night long. Party, party, we like to party, 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 never go home.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to episode 115 of the Ball Talk Pod. I mess this up every time. Joining me tonight, as usual. You hear his voice. He's going to say something snooty about me messing up again on the intro. It's Chris. Chris.
What's up?
Vacation blues, man.
Yeah, we came back and we're a little sad. I hope you guys liked last week's podcast. I think we might have a part 2 of that coming out where we may be talking to some older gentlemen about their favorite games. Well, we got to be nice until after the podcast, you know?
I think they'll come on regardless.
Sure, I think they will too. And I think they probably listen and they don't know it yet.
No, this was in our planning session about 30 seconds before I hit record.
And Ben didn't know I was going to bring it up. But yeah, we're vacation blues are real. I am still kind of recovering just from like how tiring it was, but I feel pretty good.
Tired. My body is very tired. We played basketball the first 2 nights.
Yeah, that really kind of brought me down.
I did not.
I was kind of hooping. At least on Monday.
You were hooping. I'll give you that.
So
yeah, I'm to the point where I might not work out tomorrow. My body is that like I think my body just needs a break.
Hey, that's a part of it, man. Rest days are important.
That's growth. You know,
Rome wasn't built in a day. There were some rest days in there.
Yeah, this temple needs rest.
Even God rested on the 7th day.
Yeah, well, I might need 7 whole ass days, you know? Yeah, but hope you enjoyed that pod with Ryan. I hope you went back and watched the 2017 OU TCU game to see why that made my list. And yeah, that was that pod. While we were gone visiting the mouse in Florida, we got a notification walking down Sunset Boulevard, Hollywood Studios. Breaking news. The Oklahoma City Thunder have agreed to trade Lu Dort to the Atlanta Hawks for three second-round picks.
Yeah, I think so.
And my wife was in the Pandora store. She was picking out her belated birthday present. And I said, I need a minute. So I just went and sat on a bench and just took it all in.
You filled up your popcorn bucket?
Yeah, with $2, dude. Best deal on Disney property. But no, it was sad. I think it was like everyone. My mom, for some reason, is the number one person that's been asking me, like, are they going to trade him? And every single time I'm like, yes, Mom. Like, it makes too much sense. Whenever they didn't decline his option and do some kind of renegotiating or a trade, then they weren't going to keep him on.
100%.
So it was like you knew it was coming. And as much as it was expected, it's still like, you know, he was a Thunder guy. I still think there's a decent chance that his number goes in the rafters.
I love Nick Collison, and but he did just as much, if not more, than Nick Collison did.
Collison did it over like 15 years in one organization, though. That's the difference.
I think Lou would have too, had his spot not dwindled.
Oh, he wanted to stay. He wanted to stay. He said it in his postseason press conference.
I think we all knew it was coming. Your mom knew it was coming. You know, I think Lou knew it was coming, but it's still so sad because you said he is like
one of our guys.
Him and Shea were the two that started this sort of.
Lou actually got on the team before Shea.
Right. So Lou is like the great grandfather of this culture, of this like defensive minded, hardworking 0-0 clean slate team. So
the summer we traded for Shea was July 6th at like 1 a.m., which is well documented on this pod. Woj like announced that we were getting Shea, but the trade didn't become, or no, it was on July 4th or whatever, and then the trade didn't become finalized until the new league year, which was the 6th. But so we knew we were getting Shea, but before it became official, the day between that, we signed Lu Dort as an undrafted free agent. So Lou had about 24 hours on Shea in terms of tenure with the Oklahoma City Thunder. And if you just like start rattling off his moments, I mean, the first one that comes up is the Game 7 against Houston in the bubble. He's the one of 3 players, I think, under 21 to score 30 in a Game 7, and it's Kobe, LeBron, and Lu Dort.
It is crazy.
And then he gives it started circulating after this trade, but his press conference after that, like he's like fighting back tears because they lost, and he just was so grateful for the opportunity. And It's a guy that was like a projected lottery pick and then got pushed all the way back out.
Well, they also said that, or I was listening to Down to Dunk about him leaving, and they talked about how he didn't start that series. It was Terrence Ferguson who was like the starting two, and then all of a sudden Lu Dort started playing more and more. He shot 53s in 6 games. Didn't play the first game. He shot 50.
That's my kind of guy.
So
this is getting them up.
He's a competitor. He's a dog. He is always going to play hard, which is something we'll miss.
Yeah, and he was probably the one guy that like had that attitude about him. He was pretty chill. We'll see how it feels like the Lu Dort effect. Like we saw how everybody was calling him dirty and everything, and it's super easy to defend him when he's on your team. I think he's just reckless, not dirty. There's a difference. But yeah, you have the game 7 there. He had 42 points against the Jazz. He's one of like 6th or 7th Thunder players all time to break the 40-point mark. And then
we traded away 2 guys this summer to break that mark.
Yep, him and Wiggs to the same team.
Yeah.
Same team. But no, I mean, like his biggest moment to me was Game 5 Denver. We're losing by 9, I think, and he hits 3 threes in the fourth quarter, basically back to back to back. He makes a diving save out of bounds to tie it up late. And like, if you want to see why it was so hard for the Thunder to move on from Lu Dort, go watch the fourth quarter of Game 5 Denver, because he basically willed that team back into that game, and then Shea and Dub made plays at the end, and Chet as well. But a massive series there, massive sequence of events there, and then he hit the shot in Game 7 of the finals where I was like, "There's no way we're losing."
Right,
because he hit that moon ball, shot clock going down 3 early in the third quarter
in a tight game.
I think we were tied, or like it was within a possession.
Definitely tight. It was a tight game still. And I think that sort of like sparked the run that sort of like pushed it to 10 and 12 and kind of a comfortable fourth or more comfortable, final into that game. And he's just always been around. You love hearing his chant like I did at the beginning of this pod, the Lu chant, when he comes out, that's going to be something. He is like, we didn't do a video for Kevin. We didn't do one for James Harden. I think Lu Dort is going to be the second Thunder player to get a video. Him and Russ.
I would agree with that.
And I'll be there and I'll cry.
Yeah, that's a game that you don't sell your tickets to.
No.
Which we're about within the next 2 or 3 weeks, we'll start hearing and getting the schedule. Usually it's about mid-August that we get it. They were just waiting for LeBron to choose a team, which he's going to Philadelphia, which I'm just glad it's in the East.
Right.
But all that to say, Lu, we're going to miss you, man. I'm going to miss like the starting lineup intros and the threes where everyone goes, Luden. There's just like, it takes a fan favorite to have that relationship with a crowd. Right. And obviously Paycom is an easier crowd to develop that with if you play the way that Lu plays. But
yeah,
it's going to be different whenever, like if it's the regular 4 plus either Kaysen or AJ, there's not the same, like we'll still be really good. We're still one of the top, probably 2 teams in the NBA. So it's not like the Thunder are going away, but these are the decisions that suck in sports.
We can't it's the decision we knew was coming. It was also because he just didn't play in the playoffs. Like his minutes dwindled to sometimes below 10 minutes a game as a starter. So and he wasn't very productive. So there is this sense of how good he was in the last finals run and how much we love him as a fan base. It does feel like he needed a different opportunity somewhere else.
I don't think you're selling high on Lu, but I think you're selling as high as you can get now. I think if you wanted to sell high on Lu, it was after the finals run.
100%.
Or after the Mavs series in 2024 where he was the Luka stopper,
Right.
And so it sucks. I still think we're going to be a great team, but you mentioned it, he wasn't playing much in the playoffs, and we talked about it a few pods ago where it's like, if he comes back, how awkward is that locker room where you obviously have Kaysen Wallace wanting to take the next step, and rightfully so. Not just that, AJ has to play minutes, and it's the thing that it hurts is the NBA is an 82-game regular season, and it's a long regular season. You could just ask my wife. She gets very tired of how many games there are. The Thunder have been such a great regular season team and been able to get to the playoffs relatively healthy. I mean, the injuries in the playoffs last year happened in the playoffs, but it's depth that gets you to 60 plus wins.
Right.
Like Shea can go win you a series. He's not going to win you 65 games.
No.
Sure as heck is going to make it a lot easier, but you knew you could play Wiggins, Joe. I mean, like we talked about it in the year we won the championship, like the game against Portland where everyone sat, and at the end of the year against like who we play, Utah,
Denver.
We just like Jay Will's getting a triple double, and Wiggs and Joe are scoring 20 each. Like it's that depth that like the over under on the win total for the Thunder this year is going to be interesting because you're replacing 3 technically proven guys. I mean, they're champions. Obviously, didn't play a lot in the recent
season
in the recent playoffs, but you're replacing them with Bennett, Sturts, Ademara, like rookies,
Thomas
Sorber, Topic. I mean, like very unproven players.
I mean, Jared McCain.
Yeah, McCain's the reason Isaiah Joe isn't on this team anymore. But
I think that getting rid of Lou, it allows those guys to have opportunities, right? To see like if they're gonna be something the Thunder can count on, or if they have to be, make magic again to find a tradable piece kind of thing, right? Like it's the next version of this team, and it's got to start. You can't because you look at the Warriors and they never got it right. They tried to get like Jonathan Kuminga and James Wiseman. They tried to start.
They tried to do 2 timelines at the same time, and that doesn't work.
And so like you have to continually get people in and out at a faster clip, probably. And I think it's smart business by Sam, though we don't like it as fans, because I'd like all these players to make $100 million, and for ownership to just pay them what we think as fans they're owed. But that's just not a reality in sports and in life in general.
Well, and if you just to kind of wrap that up, if you list out who is still on this Thunder team, and it's Shea, Dub, Chet, Hartenstein, Kaysen, AJ, Caruso, Jared McCain. I mean, like Jay Will. I mean, like, and that's not that's assuming that none of the rookies or second and third year guys that we just listed don't do anything,
right?
And then you have Kenrich back. Like there's just,
and then you still have an open roster spot for maybe to pick up somebody who might be able to contribute,
like a Spencer Jones.
Like a Spencer Jones. Yeah.
All the Thunder news dropped while we were visiting the Mouse. And so, for those that don't know, the Thunder technically agreed to terms with Denver Nuggets forward Spencer Jones, but he was a restricted free agent, which means
tell me what a restricted free agent is.
A restricted free agent means that if a player gets to free agency, then they can go negotiate with anyone they want, but whatever they sign, the original team that has your rights has the ability to match whatever contract you sign. So it's a big deal right now with like Jalen Duren, like the Pistons. He's a restricted free agent. The Pistons are giving him what he wants, but no one else is really giving him what he wants. So you're trying to figure out, do you play it out on the qualifying offer, which is a 1-year contract? I think Peyton Watson is in that realm as well for Denver. But Spencer Jones was a restricted free agent. We signed him to a 2-year, $12 million guaranteed deal, which I think was the most guaranteed money given to someone coming off of like an undrafted contract. But for those that are following whatever bit of the salary cap you want to follow, the Thunder trading Lu Dort, changing Hartenstein's. He's making like what, $23 million this year comparatively to what it would have been 28 before. They left themselves the exact amount to go sign what they call the mid-level exception, which means if you're under a certain threshold, aka under the second apron, then you are given an additional like $6 million for a contract. And so we basically negotiated every contract that we've re-signed and kept in mind like the rookie contracts coming in. And we hit it so that we would have a mid-level exception. And we don't have to necessarily put that into effect or onto the roster before the season. You can technically acquire people into that slot. But the cool thing about that is it's like he kind of had Denver by the balls, for lack of a better term. To where Denver was going to put them into the second apron, which then makes it very hard for them to make trades and sign free agents, and they still haven't re-signed Peyton Watson, who's probably their most promising young player. And Denver had, 48 hours to match. They ended up matching it, so it locks them
above the second apron.
At the second apron, and so it puts them in cap hell more so than they were before. And so Presti looked at it like, okay, if I do this, I sign into our mid-level exception so it doesn't impact our second apron status. But you would get a 6'8" guy, which every Thunder fan has been clamoring for.
salivating
who
for.
has a whack jump shot, but it goes in. For those that don't remember, Spencer Jones is the player that was trying to guard Shea when he hit the step back three to beat Denver this year.
And then the next night he tried to guard Luka, and Luka hit one in his face to win.
Yeah. He also has a LinkedIn. He announced the signing on LinkedIn.
He's a big LinkedIn guy. Both signings and commentary about it. He was like, for all of you who don't know, this is how free agency works.
Yeah. But Denver matched it. I think it was the right call from Denver because you have Jokic. You can't let not that he's overly just affordable because it puts you into the second apron, but you have proven commodities. You can't just let them walk out of the door in their current situation.
Right.
So props to them. I think it was a great move from Presti, whether you signed him or didn't. So yeah, Thunder have one roster spot. I think there's a good chance you see that empty maybe the whole season.
Do we have to sign somebody at some point?
Mm-mm.
Is there we can ride with what 16
Here's the deal.
players?
I don't know 100%. If you have to, they're just gonna sign one of the two-way guys.
Sure.
To that standard contract. Maybe
if
take
it comes down to that, right?
Yes.
I see.
There are avenues to fill that roster spot because they're gonna want to. Okay, they don't need to fill it, but they're gonna fill it for the playoffs. Because in the playoffs, you can't use your two-way guys. And as we saw in the Spurs series, you just never know who you're going to need. So you need as many bodies as possible. So they're gonna fill that out at least with a two-way player, if not someone else, depending on how the season plays out. But yeah, it's we're far enough away from the NBA, far enough away from the World Cup was a bonus. OU baseball's run was a bonus. Basketball is like the shortest offseason, especially if your team goes far, because you play through June, you get your schedule in August. Obviously, you had the draft in Summer League in that time, and then you're playing in October. But there's something that is coming up between now and October that I'm starting to get a little bit excited for.
The Little League World Series.
Big Curacao guy. It's the only way I knew where they were.
It's the Curacao boys.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I do love the Little League World Series.
You do? I love the intros. There's always a couple intros those boys do that make
Big
me
Al?
laugh.
Hi, my name is Big Al, and I hit dingers.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah. There's always one that does that, which is pretty funny.
Mm-hmm. Big fan of that. But, Chris, what I'm referencing is football season.
Football season? Never heard of her.
It's about time. Since we got back from our trip, I've listened to a few more football podcasts. I've pulled up a couple more of the highlights from last year.
Spencer Jones went back to the Denver Nuggets.
And it just got me out of that. I'm like, let me
Thunder.
focus on something that would never hurt me, and that's OU football. It would never hurt me. Whereas I was maybe the last person in the club level sitting after the playoff game because I was so down. Not brag. My wife was like, "Get up." I was like, "I just am mourning."
I think the more and more I'm seeing of like SEC Media Day. I think we start
preseason rankings have come out, like preseason polls and all SEC teams.
And there's been some people online, talking heads, talking about how OU's underrated. Like, what's with this OU hate? I think we start fall camp or summer camp or whatever camp next week.
Fall camp starts next Wednesday. Media day's on Tuesday.
So the boys are back. The boys of fall are back. John Mateer's throwing like spirals on the internet, which is kind of, getting me going. I feel like we're playing again. Again, we're playing the underdog. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, just because we're in the SEC. I mean, we were picked 7th in the media poll. So
really, but I think the one I saw we were picked to finish like 9th in the SEC.
That was probably someone's personal, but like the actual media poll
okay,
was 7th. Which to that point, if you're finishing 7th in the SEC, you're like at worst 9-3.
Right.
Because if you remember, Chris, we were 10-2 last year in the regular season with 2 losses in the SEC. Do you know where we ended up in those rankings?
In the SEC rankings or the overall rankings?
In the SEC. Like, with 2 losses.
5th.
We were 5th. So
that was a guess.
It's really not like this slap in the face, like 7th. There's 16 teams.
Sure. Yeah, you're right. And with the SEC championship not meaning as much, and you just want to get to the CFP, you feel like as long as you're in, the top 12 of the CFP rankings, does it really matter where you finish in the SEC?
I mean, I think this is the year that people are saying you go 9-3 in the SEC, you make the playoffs. We haven't had a a 3-loss team in the playoffs yet, but they're saying this we might be looking at that time.
Which, how do you feel about expansion beyond 12 teams? I don't think I've ever talked to you about this.
I don't want to do it.
You don't want to do it. Why?
Eventually, it has to mean something to make it.
I agree to the fans, but there are people who make decisions not about like the meaning, but about the money.
Yeah, well, I get money; they want to do it, but my decision is it needs to be hard to make these things.
Sure, I get it. Because how many teams make it in the NFL? Is it half the teams in the NFL make it?
Seven in each conference.
So 14. So there's 32 teams. So just under half. I mean, so imagine half the college football teams making it. It's a 50 team playoff.
Let's just turn it into
March Madness. Yeah. No, and I get it. It has to mean something for the fans, or people are going to stop watching every week. The reason people love college football so much is because that every week is like make or break. Every week is a must win. Every week is you can't lose that game because then you're not going to move on, right? Because then the rest of the season gets a lot harder. And if you start stretching that out to 24 to 32,
I wouldn't go past 16 if they expanded. I would not go past.
Well, I'm just saying, but like as soon as you start to go past it, you lose that, and it becomes like, oh, we lost today, but.
Well, that's why it was such a big deal that
8-5.
Like you beat Tennessee and Bama, but then like the Missouri and LSU games, like I am a believer in the regular season at the end almost serve as their own playoffs. Like you have to win to get into, and I say this, Alabama did lose 3 games and made the playoffs last year, but one was in the SEC championship game, so 2 regular season losses. I don't even know where I was going with that. I just remembered there was a 3-loss team. But just all that to say, like. Those games like turn into playoff games in themselves, and the regular season needs to matter because. And one thing that people are going to need to be very cautious of in terms of the committee is they need to stop looking at win-loss record as hard. Like if OU goes 9-3 and loses to Michigan, Texas, and Georgia, but you're still beating Ole Miss, who's a projected top 10 team to start the year. You're beating A&M. Like there's massive wins in there. But if you're like, well, this team has 2 losses and they're in the Big Ten. Well, there's only 3 teams worth a damn in the Big Ten. And so you lose to 2 of them. You don't play the other.
Right.
They didn't play a non-conference game worth anything. And so if they want teams to continue to have like marquee games to start a year, like week 1, like week 2 this year, you have Ohio State, Texas, and OU, Michigan, same as the prior year.
Which is kind of cool.
No,
2
it's
rivals
amazing.
hanging out,
It's
battling
amazing.
each other. Yeah,
that goes away, and that's that. They got to get away from that because I'm like, especially if the losses are at the beginning of the year. Now, if you lose 2 or 3 to go in, and you're not playing. I'm a firm believer in that. If you're playing good football at the end, that should be rewarded over someone that's sputtering to the end.
I agree with you. Yeah, we view sports very similarly, so you're not gonna hear a peep out of me to argue with that.
Maybe that's why we don't have 1 million followers yet because we don't argue enough on here.
We just need to argue more.
Yeah.
We can argue about something.
Yeah, put it in the comments or text us what you wish we would argue about.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, little random exercise. Just so every year in college football, especially with the transfer portal, you almost have to remember who's on your team.
Okay, I'm going to be bad at this.
So I have the 2026 preseason All SEC. Well, let's start with this. The predicted order of finish, I told you 7. Do you know who's the 6 teams above OU?
I bet it's Georgia, Texas, Alabama.
Halfway there.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of all the teams. Texas A&M is Ole Miss above us. It's not Auburn. It's not Florida. Is it Tennessee?
Tennessee
is it Missouri?
Not Missouri.
It's not Missouri. LSU?
LSU. So the predicted order of finish is Georgia, Texas, Ole Miss, A&M, LSU, Bama, Oklahoma. Now, this doesn't mean anything at all. OU was picked 10th last year, which was warranted at the time. But again, if you look, like George Toya said on Sooner Scoop and all that, there's like 7 teams that I think could win the SEC, and OU's one of those 7. Now, That's if everything breaks right. Like I'm not seeing.
You have to beat Georgia. You have to be. You can lose to Michigan.
You got to have an all-time season, but it's in front of you.
No, I agree.
People think OU can. And one of the reasons behind that is the depth of the team. Now, I believe, let me count. I used to know this, but I don't remember off the top of my head.
Okay. Yeah. I bet it's 6.
I think we had 10 on the All SEC preseason. There's 3 teams. I want you to see if you can name those players for OU.
John Latier.
No.
He's not on there.
There's only 3 quarterbacks. They have Trinidad, Arch Manning, and Gunnar Stockton. He's
course
probably
they
like the
have
5th or
Arch Manning.
6th best quarterback.
I would say David
I'll tell you
Stone.
this: there's 3. Let's start. There's 3 on the first team.
Offense or defense?
0 on offense.
So David Stone is one of them. Billy Bowman.
This includes special teams.
What does our kicker? What's his name?
Tate
Sandell. Is he on there?
Yes, and technically he's on
Okay.
there twice for place kicker and kickoff specialist.
So he is 2 of our first team
Yeah.
projections.
And there's one other.
Defense, cornerback,
It's another specialist.
or punter, or long snapper.
Yep. Ben Anderson.
Ben Anderson. I would not have gotten there.
Been around a fat minute. Okay.
That-
Does that surprise you?
Defensive, it does. Because I think
David Stone not being first team is.
And-
I hope
and the
it's
guy next
plastered
to him.
all over the locker room.
And the
Jane
guy next
Jackson
to
is not getting a lot of love because he was injured last year.
Jane Jackson is awesome.
If he's healthy, apparently he was very injured last year. So second team, we have one person, or excuse
David
me,
Stone.
two people on the offensive side.
Both offensive linemen.
Nope, one offensive lineman.
So it's I can't remember the big guys on the end. What's his name? 5-star left tackle. His name is not Ryan Foje. The other one, Michael Fasusi. There
Yes.
you go.
Michael Fasus.
I heard the little whisper.
Second
And then-
team guard / tackle, and then there's one more. But it's not
Rocky
offensive
Beers.
line. No tight ends.
It's number 5 who changed his number to number 2. His
Number
name
1.
number 1. Man, I need to
I'm telling
refamiliarize
you,
myself.
you got to
This
get
is-
into it.
I got to get back into it. You're right. This is a wake up call, and I appreciate that. And I think this is a wake up call for our listeners too.
Yeah. Go look at the roster.
Ryan, go look at the roster. His name is just give it to me.
Isaiah Satania.
Isaiah. There's a lot of Isaiahs. 2 Isaiahs used to be for our teams. Were from Arkansas. Isaiah Joe.
I was thinking OU football.
No, sorry.
Okay, second team all defense. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Wow. David Stone, Kip Lewis, Eli Bowen, Jaden Jackson. He's not on there. Another linebacker,
you're missing-
Owen Heineke.
No, you're missing a lineman and a defensive back.
Defensive back. Billy Bowman's not there anymore.
He would get it though, since he's in the NFL.
Yeah. Another defensive lineman.
Mm-hmm. Plays defensive end.
Inside end. The guy who went to media day, right?
Yes, Taylor Wine.
Taylor Wine. And the defensive back is another Bowen.
Peyton
Bowen.
Bowen. The shockers there, I think Cortland Guillory is very slept on. I think he's our best
sophomore. He'll
corner.
get it next year.
And then Jaden Jackson, like you said, Heineke. We think he's
just
nationally. I
important.
don't think he's as good as we think he is.
He's just important to our team.
Yeah.
He's the guy that gets everybody in the right position.
There is a second team specialist,
Hunter Grayson.
return specialist. Satania got it for.
Oh, he did. 2.
specialist as well.
Wow. He
Yeah.
could be electric.
And then third team, we have 0 on the offensive side
Wow.
and 0 on the defensive side and 0 on the specialist side.
I think that means we're going to finish second in the SEC.
because and not third. There's
Not
a
third.
lot
Definitely not third.
not a lot.
I mean,
third.
that's a lot. That's almost half of
I think
the
there's
second
10.
team defense.
And that doesn't include some guys that I'm very high. I mean, like, if you want to sit back and look at, like, just, okay, you're looking at the 11 on defense from
Ooh, I'm
left
looking
to
at
right.
'em.
You're going Taylor Wine, David Stone, Jaden Jackson, and then one of Danny Okoye and PJ Adebaraway.
Who I've heard,
Linebackers.
they've both had great summers.
Everyone's had a great summer.
I know, and
We've
that's what I
had
love
great
about it.
summers.
I love,
They've had great
I love,
summers.
I love that everyone has a great summer.
Mm-hmm. Hags had a great summer. And then linebacker, technically you have 3 that you feel really good about, and I think one more hopefully emerges. But the 3 main ones are Heineke, Kip Lewis, and then the Michigan transfer Cole Sullivan.
Who's apparently
Freak.
just a monster. Yeah.
Freak. I don't know if he'll play Cheetah. He might a little bit. Depends on. I think Reggie Powers, who I'm very high
Right.
on, will play some Cheetah. But the depending on package, I mean, like Cole Sullivan is like Kendall Daniels on steroids, and I loved Kendall Daniels last year.
Yeah, Cole Sullivan's not going to do much covering, correct?
He's a linebacker. I think he'll cover a little bit.
Well, I mean, if we're going to cover him, maybe in the cheetah
He
position.
can drop into coverage, but if it's a passing down, they're putting Reggie Powers out there.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I'm saying.
Safeties at the top, you have Peyton Bowen, and then
Feel good about
a
that.
guy that people are very high on, Michael Boganowski, heat-seeking missile.
Both of Powers and Boganowski are
Great safety.
quite firecrackers.
And then on the outside, Cortland Guillory, Eli Bowen, two guys that I think OU feels very good about. And then you look at like the question on the defensive side is like, what's the depth? I mean, Amarion Robinson on the safety position. Do you have like Jacoby Johnson's a senior corner from Mustang? He's a freak athlete. I mean, can he put it together? Defensive line at the end position, we mentioned the two guys, Okoye and Adebarawe. Can you have another guy step up? Jake Krull is a freshman who is a borderline 5-star. Can he be that guy? And then the probably the biggest one is defensive tackle, because one of the strengths of the team last year was you had 4 guys who were like all SEC borderline guys.
Runs, and they just stopped the run.
You lose Grayson
No team
Alton,
could run on us.
You lose Dominic Williams, and then you look at guys like Trent Wilson, who's a sophomore or redshirt freshman, I guess. Nigel Smith, who came in with David
Had a great
Stone and
summer.
James Jackson. Great summer. Transfer from UTEP, Kenny Owuzole, I think is his last name. They're very excited about him. I think he's like a tweener that could go in or out. And then the question is, are all the offensive pieces that you brought in from the portal and the freshmen, can they make the offense competent? Can Mateer's thumb be fine?
The biggest one is I want to run the ball. And I think we did 2 things this summer, like we talked about when they happened, that are going to more impact the run game. Is I think, well, besides our offensive line getting older, like we can bring in all these fancy toys, all these new wide receivers and Parker Livingstone, and the fast guy from Vanderbilt,
Virginia, Trell Harris.
Terrell Harris,
who has not practiced yet.
We still have to run the ball. There's always one wide receiver that just never practices during the summer, but we still have to run the ball. And us hiring a new running back coach and a new tight ends coach, who by all accounts are like killing it. But again, everyone has a great summer, especially on social media. Like if we can run the ball and have good 3rd down conversions, the offense will be able to move. And we'll be able to see a little bit more of what our offensive coordinator can, his creativity. Because if you're not having to come out of, 3rd and long every possession, you can have a little more creativity. Get guys more open.
Quarterback.
Right. So, I do need to refamiliarize myself. I sort of went all thunder, and now I need to get back.
It's okay. You have time. I think we're 34 or 35 days from
34 days, I think I saw today.
So you have a little bit of time. There's not a lot going on in the sports world between now and then. Ball Talk will probably be doing some more lists and some more rankings, because that's what podcasts do in the off season. But yeah, no, it's when you start, like I said at the end of last year, I'm just thankful that there were multiple games that I wanted to go back to watch, which the year before it was like I only had one, and it was the Alabama game. And today I went back and watched the full game, not just highlights, but I watched the full game of the Alabama playoffs, but I turned it off after we got up 17-0.
Well, right. Did you watch the
full broadcast?
You didn't watch the run where John threw it to 24 out there.
The game ended when we got up 17-0.
I thought it did. Then we were going to go blow the doors off Indiana.
We were going to win a natty. John Mateer's thumb was healed, and we were going to win a natty. But
hey, he met with a biomechanic guy this summer. He met with Sam Bradford. So I think John Mateer is out to show it. And like I said in my predictions, what I'm looking forward to, the day I can rub it in your face that he won the Heisman.
I hope it comes true, and I'll give you all the props in the world, and you can say I told you so a billion times.
For the rest of my life?
That. Well, it depends on how long it takes you to get to a billion.
I can stretch $1 billion out for a long time.
It's like Marshall's slap bet with Barney and how.
Right. I can stretch that out.
Yeah, but so all that to say, recapping, Lu Dort, thank you for your service. We'll miss you. Enjoy Magic City and the Wings in Atlanta.
Yes.
We didn't talk about it. LeBron to the Sixers. We'll get into that closer to basketball season. I think it's a win for the Thunder that he's at least not in the conference. And OU football. It's about time to start dusting off the old lucky shirts. Anything you want to bring to the tailgate. Again, we have a rule. If you want to come to the tailgate, you have to be able to tackle an Osborne. Your choice, which Osborne.
But generally, it's me.
Yeah.
If you don't make a
civically.
choice fast enough, it's me.
Yeah, and we'll determine if it's fast enough.
Yeah, not fast enough.
Yep. Hi, nice to. Sorry.
Ooh,
You
should have
didn't
said
do
it
it.
earlier.
Yep. 5'4" Jane Osborne's over there, but here's 6'5" Chris Osborne.
We might have to have a for some people who are there all the time. They might need to do it just for fun.
Yeah, well, they haven't done it, so it might just
That's
be
true.
like, hey, you have to do it this year to earn it.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to like start posting it as like, you know how like Down to Dunk does like Down to Dunk night. It's like, are we having a ball talk tailgate?
We always every Saturday, not the first Saturday or Friday.
Yeah, no, that Friday game will be interesting, but the third game of the year will be there. So
Go second, Michigan.
at Michigan, which
Yep.
we still need to figure out. So,
Yep, we do.
but with that, there's your sports talk, your ball talk, your sports the Oklahoma way, as we venture into this depth of nothingness in the sports world, unless you're into baseball. But I think it's time to log off for the night. Chris, thanks for joining as always.
Of course.
We'll talk to y'all again next week. See you.
Stay frosty out there.
All night long, party, party, we like to party, 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 all night long. Party, party, we like to party, 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 never go home. Party, party, we like to party, 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 all night long.